Okay.
The thing that I gathered from the episodes is that there's just a lot of drinking in Waterdeep. It's just seems to just be happening a lot.
Welcome.
You, by the way.
Of course. No, thank you. I'm so glad you made it.
You already cut him off when he was doing the intro.
I know. It's unbelievable.
God damn it, we'll wrap it up. We're out of here.
I gotta go take another poop real quick.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Dungeons and Designers. We are still playing Dragon Heist Waterdeep Dragon Heist.
There it is.
Yep. And today we're joined by Jonathan Cutrell. Did I say your last name right?
It's Cutrell.
Cutrell. So what you're saying is no.
No.
You did not say
What
it
he's
right.
saying is you probably should have figured out that before.
You know.
Well, there's a range of wrong, and Cutrell is not the wrongest of wrong.
Well,
you said something totally off the.
But what he's saying is that
it's bad. Jonathan, why don't you just give us a little bit of an intro before we get started, just so like the people listening can know who you are.
Sure. So my name is. Well, you already covered that part, but I am a director of technology at PBS. Probably, if you're listening to this, you might know me from M of One Slack if you're a part of that group. I also host my own podcast. It's called Developer Tea. So I'm not technically a designer. I don't know if that's a problem.
That's okay.
Who would ever?
Yeah.
There's only one designer tonight, actually. The rest
there you
of us
go.
are not really.
We are the dungeons, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'm the ant, so.
Yeah. So that's I talk about all kinds of things. My experience with Dungeons and Dragons is very, very slim, which I think is cool. It's fun to like jump into the deep end on these kinds of things. So I'm excited.
No, we're really excited to have you. And we want to thank you for submitting questions to our last episode.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry we didn't get to them.
That's all right. I listened to it today. And I do fully expect to have my own episode of Q&A.
Yeah. We'll definitely have an episode
4-hour
2.
special.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last 2 episodes were our first kind of recordings of Waterdeep Dragon Heist. You guys had entered the town. You went to the bar, the Wailing Tavern. What is it? The Yawning Portal.
The Wailing Caverns?
Yeah, you know. You went to the Yawning Portal looking for Volo because someone told you that he had work for you guys. He found you, and he did, in fact, have work. You're looking for his friend Floon, who he was out drinking with the night before, but hasn't seen since.
Mm-hmm.
You guys went to a few bookstores. You made your way down to the dock ward. And in the dock ward, which is like the dangerous part of town, that's where we left off. Courtney is not with us today because she's feeling a little ill. So we're going to just say that her turtle, Agate, I don't know. We said
She went to
found a mushroom.
Went to go find some mushrooms in an alley or something. Yeah.
Man, I
She has
can't
to
wait
bask.
for her to be
Turtles have to
behind on all
bask.
that. She's going to be so far behind on that experience.
One thing is she is playing a druid, and druids hate cities, so maybe this was all just too much for her. So yeah, where you guys have gone, you're just entered the dock ward. The building.
Wait, hold on. I got Floon's name, but who sent us on the quest?
Volo.
Volo. That's the guy who wrote the book.
He wrote the book.
There's a book for sure with his name.
Yeah,
Yes.
Volo's Guide to something.
Monsters?
Bingo.
Everything? I don't know, probably both.
Yeah, who knows? Some D&D property. So you guys enter the dock ward. The dock ward's buildings are quite a bit taller than everywhere else. And they're not only taller, they're kind of falling apart, and many of them like lean over the streets and alleys. And what this produces is like a very dim lit region of the city. There's also like a natural fog that comes off the ocean, making this just kind of gross. Everywhere you go smells like stale beer, fish, kind of stagnant life, right?
We just kind of walked into Sweeney Todd. Is that what you're telling me?
I would love a movie that didn't have John Depp in it, but
Yeah.
if that's where we're at.
Johnny
Johnny Depp.
Like,
Johnny Depp.
Yo, he is a survivor.
No, he is now John
survivor
Depp.
of what?
That is the cat. The
Okay,
cast
we're-
out.
Use.
But yeah, Sweeney Todd asks, there's definitely
Oh my God.
meat
How long
pies.
are we recording for?
Not long
Not
enough.
time to go into that. Oh my God.
Just gonna keep moving. So that's where you guys are at. You just enter the dock ward. You know, in here somewhere is the Skewered Dragon, and that's the bar that Volo saw Floon in last. As you guys start making your way down, you kind of are just turning random streets. You don't really know where you're at, and for the most part, the people around here don't look like they're going to help you, right? In the beginning, when you guys just entered Waterdeep, like people were answering your questions and kind of guiding you and helping you out. Everyone here is like not even making eye contact with you, right? And they're all carrying very suspicious boxes, right? Like people are doing things that don't look great. So much
Can
so,
you describe a suspicious box for me real quick?
yeah, it will say like classified or
With quotation marks on it?
yeah,
Not
Classified.
Or-
bomb.
or like a little hole, and you'll see like eyes peering through it.
Or like blood dripping off of one.
Yeah, yeah,
This
it's just
one just says nothing suspicious on it. And you're like,
yeah, just says look the other way.
I'm imagining Ed's just kind of walking down like, don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Just doing the shoulder rolls.
But this all kind of comes to a point when you look down an alleyway and you see a whole bunch of the city watch. There's probably a half dozen of these guys. One who looks like particularly important, and he's looking over the bodies of like a half dozen people. And in that pile of people, you can kind of see that there's like almost two gangs being represented in there. And to the right, there's like a few of them still alive, bound up, and pushed up against the wall, being questioned by a couple of the guards. One of the guards that's kind of like leading this thing looks over and sees you guys kind of peering in and goes, "Hey, get out of here." And then takes like a little halfling city guard or city watch and pushes him like down the alley towards you guys. And he's like, "Get them out of here." And that's where you see Jonathan's character. What was his name?
Wiley Dimby.
Ed just puts his hands up like, hey, no worries, man. We're just walking through. I don't want no trouble.
It doesn't matter. You have to keep on moving.
Hey,
Listen,
look, man, I'm moving. He's just stepping aside, like keeping his hands up but facing up. I'm like, hey, man, we're moving. We're not. What time is it? Is it dark?
No, it's like early afternoon.
Okay. Hey, we're just looking for a friend, man. Y'all, we'll keep moving, but
Everybody down here is looking for friends. I don't want to hear it. Just keep on moving.
What's the ground look like?
Like worn out cobblestone and like
Okay,
very
I'm very-
uneven.
Yeah, I'm very invested in that.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, and I'm just looking down and being like,
Yeah, which it almost looks like you're trying to avoid eye contact and just looking at your feet. Like,
but like as it goes, you might take that initially, but then I get a little bit more invested, and I'm really there. I'm like, and just kind of scurrying across because I don't even notice that the person's there.
You mean the multitude of corpses? You don't? Yeah,
Nothing. Nothing.
But Wiley is very much interested in moving you along. He puts his hand on his hilt. He's very like overzealous about getting you out of this alleyway.
like, look, calm down, take a deep breath. My friend here is just going to look at that rock for a minute, maybe pick some mold off of it, and then we'll be moving along. Okay. No
What's
need to
the
start
deal
any
with the
fight.
rock? Why are we? What's
Look, man, I don't want to get into, I don't want to get into stuff, but stereotypes. He's a dwarf. It is what it is. Okay,
I've
just
known a
leave-
few dwarves. I understand. That's I empathize with your
and Ed kind of starts.
position.
Thank you. Hey,
Yeah.
look,
You just hear noises from Vodmex. Okay.
Listen,
Hey-
Ignoring everything completely.
why are you all in this alleyway in the first place? First of all, you don't look like you belong with the average person here. You have less dirt on your faces.
Ed stands up a little straighter.
It's a good point. In fact, they both asked for like baths and showers when they were at the yawning
very
portal.
clean.
So compared to everyone around here, they probably are just like
Well, part of it,
a
we
bit
were covered in mosquito guts and
Here's the deal.
blood.
When people come here that look different, they're usually coming here for not the greatest reasons. and trying to elicit things that we won't even have to talk about right now.
Sure,
So
friend. I saw a box with a couple tentacles coming out of it. I understand what you're talking about, but I assure you we are on the up and up 100%. We were sent here by a friend of ours named Volo looking for his friend Floon. I don't know if either one of those names ring a bell for you, but
that's going to be something I'll have to roll for, I assume.
Don't worry. I think Volo, he's kind of a celebrity. You'll at least recognize that name. Floon, you would have no idea.
So is Volo a celebrity in like a he's infamous kind of way, or is he?
No, he's an author.
People like him.
Yeah, people like him.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, because of the bookstore.
Yeah, he writes these manuals to adventuring.
Oh, I see. Yeah, which I presumably
you would kind of know. Yeah,
I probably have.
You had to study during your 6 weeks of guard training.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have a signed copy of this book on my shelf at home.
Yeah.
I'm once again very invested in improving myself here, and so yeah, I don't think I know where Volo is. I don't think anybody really at any point knows where Volo is.
Oh, he's about 3 beers deep. I'll tell you that right now.
I like stand up again, not knowing anything's going on. I turn to Ed. I'm like, these are some pretty okay rocks.
I know I thought they'd be messier. Maybe the fog helps keep them. Hey, Vod, hold on a second. I'm sorry, officer. What's your name?
And then I turn and go, hi, Vodmek.
I'm Officer Denby.
Officer Denby, it's nice to meet you.
You can call me Wiley, but not
Wiley.
Yet.
Okay,
but not yet.
Sorry. Is it Officer Denby, Mr. Denby? Do you have a preference?
Oh, it's definitely Officer Denby.
Okay, officer, I'm sorry. My associate and I will again be moving on very soon, but could you point us in the direction of the, what was it, the Skewered Dragon?
I don't know if you've noticed, but I am on the job at the moment in a pretty dangerous position. I don't know why you think I'm going to help you.
Could you just point for me?
The serve part.
And like while you say that, part. Like your boss, like that's over the corpses, is like, we don't need you. You can go help them.
Oh, well.
Yikes.
Ed turns around for a second.
Ed, here's the deal. I did a lot of really good work earlier, and
no, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I immediately start like trying to look at rocks.
My shift's over in like 10 minutes anyway. It's fine.
Well, I mean, I just need you to point it out. But if you want to come with us, I'll buy you a beer in like 10 minutes. If you want to show us where it is.
If you make it 2, we'll think about it.
All right, we can make that happen.
So yeah, Wiley agrees to kind of help you guys out in exchange for 2 beers at the Skewered Dragon. Wiley would know where it is, right? Wiley and his kind of squadron of police like definitely roam this area and kind of patrol. And he turns what would be an extremely long journey looking for this place into maybe 45 minutes of like just walking through different little alleyways.
Efficiency.
Yeah, all the buildings look extremely normal. And when I say normal, I mean like dilapidated and kind of falling over and crumbling. Except for
dilapidated chic.
Except for one that you pass is like a deep purple. Dan, you can help me with a reference here.
There's a witch that lives in there.
Who's the Harry Potter lady with all the pink?
Umbridge.
Umbridge.
Gotcha.
This is like an Umbridge version, but like purple. Like as you look in, everything inside is purple. And in one of the like the big viewing windows is a taxidermied beholder, which is like 6 foot wide, 8 foot wide, like giant monstrosity in the window. And it's called Zoblobs.
Would any of us know what a beholder is?
I don't think you would know. Like
Officer Denby might.
I don't know if you would know what they are capable of. But I think looking at it, you can just be like, "Oh, that's monstrosity." Like evil. It looks evil. I don't know if you would know exactly.
No, okay.
Yeah,
the way the City Watch works, I think, is we keep peace, but we don't necessarily go in a lot of places. I think it's more of like a street watch. We're trying to keep the blood out of the streets, but what happens behind closed doors is notoriously it's a free and open city. So,
right, and beholders wouldn't be really roaming around the city. You would hope.
You would definitely hope.
One may hope.
One may hope.
Yeah. They're definitely evil.
See, they went with,
okay, so right, just some.
Are we? Is this like we're just kind of passing by it? Like,
yeah, if you
might
guys are
pass by,
interested in what's inside, you can definitely go in. But this is the only building that, like, on the way between the little crime scene and the Skewered Dragon that looks just totally out of place.
Yeah.
The building looks clean, like it's not dirty or anything.
No, it definitely doesn't look clean, but it's like painted dark purple. And it's got a sign hanging off the front saying Zoblobs, but it kind of looks hand carved, maybe. And just the giant taxidermy thing, like all of it looks odd. I wouldn't say any of it looks nice, right? It's not like they have a deer head or some kind of nice animal. Like, it's a monster in the window.
Ed's going to kind of walk up to it and just kind of cup his hands and just like peer in, try to see if you can see past.
Yeah.
Like, what else they have in there? There's wands or potions or.
Yeah, so you kind of like look past the beholder, and in the very far back on the counter, you see a gnome sitting on there cross-legged with a giant pipe coming out of his mouth, and the whole maybe like bottom foot and a half of the room is just purple smoke. And
it turns around, I want to go in there.
It's like a hookah lounge or something.
Well, and all you see inside, it's like in an antique shop. There's just like dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, of like little trinkets everywhere. Many of which are purple.
Oh, I definitely want to go in there, y'all.
Can I roll maybe history check to see if I remember like any particular altercations that I witnessed as an officer here?
Sure.
Nope. I don't even know where I am. I'm completely lost. I rolled a 2. So
yeah, no.
See your eyes gloss over for a second.
But I think one thing, like, you don't have any idea of its past or anything, but you can tell like these windows aren't broken. Well, and these windows aren't broken, right?
Okay,
like a lot of the other places are like cracked windows or missing windows. Like there is, even though this is not nice, it's standing.
Is anybody like standing outside? And is this at a popular like crossroads or anything like that?
No, it's not a very popular crossroads, and currently there's no one going around. But you, as like a city watch in this area, would know the dock ward at early afternoon is like at its slower spot. Like that crime scene you were probably just at was probably from the night before.
Mm-hmm. Hey, so what Officer Denby would do in this scenario, I think, the character here a little bit, is both of you would have to say that you want to go in, but then I would be the one to go in. I'm not going to go in there, but I'm going to lead you in there because, of course, I'm a protector officer of the law.
Vaughn, mind if we duck in there real quick?
I mean,
I saw some rocks. They had some purple ones.
Okay.
Denby, what you think? Excuse me, Officer Denby.
Yeah.
Do you mind if we hop in here real quick?
Listen, I don't want you to go in there without me because I do want those 2 beers.
Sure.
As soon as feasible.
I appreciate that.
And going into any building in this area is risky business. So I'll go in first, and you guys can follow behind.
Sounds good. That was a good movie too. After you.
Hey, can you guys
head on in?
Yeah, can you all give me a perception check?
I don't know. Can I?
Drug check. Oh, Brother Bird.
Got a 19.
I got a nat 20, 24.
Okay, Dan.
Yep.
How distracted from rocks are you?
I got a 16.
Okay. All right, so you did not meet the CR.
Any of us?
No, everyone else did because there's a 20 or a 19 and a 24. 16 maybe. What?
You got a mixed result.
So, Denby, did I say that name right?
Yep.
You open the door, and immediately upon opening it, like this big pink billowing smoke just flows out. And as you guys walk in, Denby and Ed, out of the corner of your eye, you see one of the eyes on the beholder rotate and follow you in. It's just like a subtle detail, but the taxidermy object definitely moved. And as you walk in, you're kind of squeezing in between like big racks of items. If you want to look for items, I need you guys to give me a D100 roll, which on dice is the 2D10s. And then you have to figure out how to add them together.
I can just roll one. I'm on I'm on a website that I pay for. I pay Wizard for. I'm not going to say the name of it because I pay them. They don't pay me.
You pay for a website affiliated with Wizards.
Alternately, you could roll one of these bad boys.
Right, one of those, and
then one.
Yeah, those are the 2D10s.
Or you can roll two of these.
Is this the dude?
What does it have
I believe
on
so. Is it 0 through 10?
It's got 60, 40, 80.
Yes,
20.
so that one and the other one. The other D10.
Just a regular D10.
Yeah.
And alternately, you could just roll either one of those twice.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Well, no. So the reason you do the one with the zeros is so that you have you don't try to figure out the 10 position.
Well, you would roll one first for the 10.
Oh, that makes sense.
I'm saying if you don't.
Right. That makes sense. What'd you get, Zach?
Rolling the D100 option on this Wizard affiliated website, I got a 16.
So one of the first
79.
Okay, one of the first things Ed sees is an old divination card bearing your likeness. So you see a card with Ed's face on it.
Does it?
Dan, what'd you get?
79.
79. The first thing you see is an invitation to a party where a murder happened. I don't know how you know that, but you have it.
I let him know.
Yeah, you're like, oh, that party.
That's like on the shelves there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We studied that one in I got a 50.
You found a whistle made from a gold-colored wood. Just little trinkets, little weird things.
Are these things that are like, is there a proprietor here?
Yeah, all the way in the back, you see just a gnome sitting on the counter.
Oh, that's right. He's the smoking gnome, yes.
Dan, what's your problem with gnomes?
They're like wannabes.
Of what?
I mentioned passively. I mention as passively as I possibly can that they probably have some rocks for sale here.
It's just like a cough under your breath in the smoke.
I don't know. I think there's probably some rocks around.
I like Olaf's invitation. I'm like, I don't want rocks from this place.
Okay. What do you? Oh, by the way, this is meant to mention when the eye moves, I do one of these like.
It's like just trying to grab onto something.
Trying to protect them.
Whoa! Hey, did you see that too? And I point at the eye that I saw moving.
I'm like, what?
And like, can we see Vodmek right now? Like, what's the height of?
Oh yeah, I would say it's probably only chest high on him.
Okay.
Right? How tall are you, Dan? 4 foot? 5 foot? 4 foot, right?
I forgot.
Probably around.
I like to imagine that he's like
in there,
putting his head out.
So
holding his hand up. Like
it's probably around his waist on Vodmek, but on Wiley it's probably almost shoulder height because he's a halfling, so he's even smaller than a dwarf.
Yeah,
that changes a lot.
Yeah,
because I did not.
Am I right? Oh no, it's a rogue thing, isn't it? To be able to move through the space of another being.
No, because you're small, you can go through any medium creatures like feet.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense.
So having seen the card with my likeness on it and the beholder.
Yeah.
I'm just going to like, excuse me, sir, and start walking towards the gnome on the counter.
Yeah, and what I will say is like when you walked in and looked at the beholder, it is clearly stuffed. Like there are seam marks of like the person who taxidermied it. Like there's no chance this thing is actually alive.
Okay.
Worse though, right?
By the way, I do pick up that whistle, by the way, which would go perfectly like the.
Oh,
my
sure.
Justification is that I'm a officer, so I need a whistle, of course.
Yeah, for traffic duties.
Yeah.
But yes.
So should we approach the gnome?
Ed is. I am.
And saying that, the gnome pulls the pipe out of his mouth.
Did you hear my weird dissociative episode just said? I am. Ed is. I am.
But hearing you say that, should we approach the gnome? He like pulls out his pipe and is like, "If you want to buy something, you should," and then puts it right back in his mouth.
I like this guy. That was funny. Thank you, kind sir, for allowing us to peruse your assorted goods. I just had 2 quick
I
questions.
interrupt Ed and I say, I'm going to go wait outside. Just walk out and leave.
Excuse my friend. He has a fondness for the rocks that you all have used to decorate and create your streets.
Oddly enough, like your politeness is much weirder to this gnome than what he just did. Like this is
and obviously I'm still in uniform. Is the gnome like at all any kind of like
not at all?
No nervousness at all.
No.
He does not care that I'm there. Yeah.
No, but he also doesn't look like he has a care in the world.
Right, of course. Yeah.
That much smoke in there, I don't think he knows which way's up anymore.
He's got them tired eyes.
Yeah.
So I'm doing like the Barney Fife stroll around while Ed is talking. Like kind of hands on the hips, like looking around, trying to find something. And then I just kind of out loud, so the gnome can hear me, but not to him necessarily. So what's the deal with the purple?
Yeah, and the gnome, like, after coughing quite a bit, it was just like, I bought the shop. Like, it came with the purple.
What's up with the moving eyes? Did you have to pay extra for it to like track you like that, or is that just built into it?
Yeah, and he looks at you a little wild, like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
That eye right there. Okay, well, never mind. How much for that card over there that looked like it had my face on it?
Yeah, and he looks over, looks down, and he's like, 5 gold.
So that,
What if can we do a deal for this whistle and the card?
I'll give them both to you for 8 gold.
7.
Yeah, and he's like, all right.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Win. Yeah.
Because the little weird whistle in the card. Yeah, 7 sounds great.
7 gold.
I give him 7 gold.
Yeah,
I go back and pick up the card.
He takes the coins and like slides them underneath himself.
Ew. What?
Yeah, because he's just sitting on the counter.
On the gold.
Don't say stuff like that.
In this economy? Well, thank you. What the hell is it? I show him the card I just bought.
Yeah, and he doesn't have any idea. He like explains
Is there anything
to you
on the back of it?
No, it's pretty blank. Maybe there's like a decorative
picture
border.
of me on the front.
Yeah. And you don't even know if that.
Don't mind me asking.
Yeah.
Who did you buy this shop from?
Yeah, and he goes, Zoblob.
Zoblob.
Is that Zoblob?
No, yeah. He goes, no. It was just a man before me. I tried to change.
You say you bought the shop.
No. No, yeah. He's like, I bought it. And I tried to change the name, but everyone kept calling it Zoblob. So I just went back to that name and I legally changed my name to Zoblob.
I mean,
Zoblob the gnome.
I mean, hey, it makes sense. You know,
Yeah.
branding is everything, really. If you don't, what's a store without good branding, you know?
Yeah, and he just like explains a little bit like that the items are things that he just like buys and trades in the area. So a lot of it is just like little runoffs of things that people either got through legal or illegal means. But he has a real love for like purple objects. So like there are shelves of just purple objects. And if you guys have purple objects, he'll most likely buy them from you.
Good to know.
Excellent.
Ed slides the card into his bag without saying any numbers as he does it.
I take
Smart.
I take a little piece of twine that I take off the rope and I put the whistle around my neck.
Yes, you look like a soccer coach now.
That looks real sharp.
Yeah, exactly.
That looks real sharp, Wiley. I like that. Excuse me, Officer Denby. I got a little ahead of myself again. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
After the beers.
You can call me Denby.
Oh, I could. Well, thank you, Denby. I appreciate that. I won't let Vod know just yet. We'll keep the officer going. I turn back to the gnome and I'm
As
like,
a note,
well,
I haven't called him anything yet.
Yeah.
So you just wait. Yeah.
Bond hasn't even spoken to me. It's just like, what is this guy?
I think
He's
looked up and
spoken
talked to
around
me
you.
about you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's about you while you're right next to us.
He's like, 2 beers. I'm fine. Let's go.
Well, thank you, Mr. Zoblob, and wish you best.
Yep.
If I find any purple stuff, we'll be back.
He like nods his pipe at you and goes, "Have a great day."
And Ed starts heading out the door.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll be back here.
I look at the beholder out of the corner of my eye as I walk out. Does anything happen?
No, all the eyes are facing forward again.
Sus.
Very.
Super sus.
So
Hey, Vod, look. And I show him the card of myself and just put it back in. That's weird, right? Isn't that weird?
It's like a very fancy photo booth.
It's like that. Oh, it seems a little vain to me. And it just starts
It was just in there. I didn't pose for it. Isn't that weird? I don't know, man.
I don't like that. I don't know why you own that.
I think if you had stolen it, you would have had every right. Like if I walked into a store and there was just
like,
a
this is-
picture of me.
This has to be
yours.
mine.
That's mine.
Yeah, like-
It is yours.
Is your name on
But
it?
he's-
No, but my face is.
Yeah.
Hey,
He's like,
Ed, can I hold that picture for a moment?
let me see your hands real quick. Your hands clean?
And I just stare at you and just shake my head.
wipe your hands on your shirt real quick.
It's fine.
Here, I just hold it out for you. Just don't touch it.
Just grab it.
Oh,
No, I grabbed it.
yeah.
Here's the deal. I'm trying to inspect this thing to see if it changes when I'm holding it.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. Oh,
No.
this is permanently yours, Ed.
This is
I hate
an
it back.
Ed card.
Well,
okay.
it did.
I hate it back. It is definitely dirty from
The
my hand.
picture didn't change it, but look what you got on the back. And I
Yeah.
wipe it off and put it back in my bag.
Actually, I grab it real fast and I rub my fingerprints off of it and I hand it back to you.
Thank you, officer. I appreciate that. What does that whistle do?
It whistles, I believe.
That it
A
looks
blow on
like
it.
that. You know,
Yeah,
it
just
looks
like a
like a
normal
whistle.
whistle.
Vomit
Just
turns
a
around and
normal
says, "Halfling, where's the Skewered Dragon? Isn't that what we're doing?"
Oh,
Officer.
sorry, Vod.
Who?
Officer. Officer.
Oh, no, I'm not. No.
Listen. Let's go get our beers. I'm off duty.
I'm off duty. Yeah, so you guys make your way down, right? All the buildings, again, very gray, muted browns.
Then
When
there's
you,
a green one. Oh,
then you get to the Skewered Dragon, and there's a big green building. No, it looks like all the rest. Like the windows are smashed out. There's big cracks and pieces of glass missing. The roof is crumbling in. This does have one piece of decoration that makes it different than the rest, which is a giant boat anchor that is like crushed through the roof.
that's not what I expected. Thought there'd be a dragon somewhere.
No.
No.
No, that'd be too fancy for the dock ward. But you can hear, like, even though it's maybe 1 or 2 in the afternoon, the Skewered Dragon's fairly full of patrons. And as you look through the windows, they're all like big, bulky dock hands. This is very different than the sort of fraternity scene at the Yawning Portal. These guys aren't adventurers. They're just people who work in this kind of sketch area.
Friend, I owe you 2 beers. You got us here. Let's go get him. And I started heading towards the bar.
I kind of try to stand a little taller, and as we're walking in, I do one of the like nods to the dock hands.
Yeah. So as you guys walk in, especially Wiley, like the whole place goes quiet. And no one's making eye contact with any of you. You guys can wave and no one's waving back. You could ask them questions. No one's even going to answer you. You can easily make your way up to the bar if you wanted, where there's a couple people. But again, like most conversations are either at a low murmur or have stopped completely.
I'll
Lean
hobble
over the bar with both of my elbows, and I say,
You might need to stand on
Listen.
a stool to do that.
yes. I climb up onto a stool first.
Yep.
And then
the
I lean
visual's
over.
Great. Yeah. Struggle
Lean
a little
over
bit.
on this bar.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
next...
oh yeah, definitely. The whole time I was walking incredibly slowly, just kind of like glowering around me. And as I put my elbows on the bar, it's very clear that actually I'm terrified a little bit.
Sure.
And
Because like
I
next
kind
to
of
you,
whisper to the bartender, like, what is the rule on alcohol in the streets in this particular part of Waterdeep, if you happen to know?
yeah, this giant orc next to you, right? He probably has 5 feet on you. Laughs at you and goes, "Shouldn't you know?" And then starts drinking again.
I say, yes, sir. I'm here on inspection duty, just minding the paperwork here. Carry on.
Yeah, he already was.
He didn't even hear what I said.
Yeah, it's very. It's just too squeaky for him. He's just like.
Yes, in post, by the way, you can just up my voice like 2 octaves.
Yeah.
So it's squeaking the whole
What kind of budget
episode.
do you think we have?
What's
I'm gonna
the
go up to the
deal?
bar and slap a coin down and say, "Give me the biggest brew you have."
Yeah, and it's probably twice the size of what the Yawning Portal was, right? Like the Yawning Portal is like a social aspect, and like the Adventurer's Portal to that mine.
Mhm.
People here are only getting drunk. Like there's no.
Perfect.
They're just
And
here to forget.
I grab it.
Yeah, and it's like it's gonna be terrible beer, but like
Perfect.
you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ed-
So I
Ed's
grab it and I
gonna-
waddle off.
This is not a craft.
No,
Nothing on
no.
tap here. Yeah, no.
Ed kind of slides in between the two of them and just like, hey, can I get 3 beers, please?
Yeah. How much money did you give?
Whatever 3 beers cost.
2 gold. Let's say.
Yeah,
Gold and a half.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
it's 2 for 1.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
It's halfling day.
Well, wait. You only need 2, right? Because Vodbeck has his.
Yeah, but I want one.
he's buying for me.
Oh,
and
right.
for
For
him.
him, get
One for me.
2 for the halfling.
Yeah.
2 that are like the size of halfling's chest. It's like.
Yep.
I dig it.
But I assume that this beer is essentially water, so it's not really like a big deal.
No, but like you'd assume wrong.
Again, there's an intention to how the beer was.
And the bartender, maybe he gave you a discount for the show. He was
Yeah.
like, "Let's see this." So, is there anything else you guys want to do in the Skewered Dragon?
I'd like to slink away into a darker corner,
Okay.
After
personally.
Kinda,
he
yeah.
leaves, I turn back to the bartender and the orc and put another gold piece down. I'm like, any of y'all know a fella named Floon?
Yeah, and the bartender like takes it and puts it in like underneath the counter. It goes, "Yeah, we saw him last night."
Was he close by, or he wasn't involved in any of them shenanigans a couple blocks up, was he? Where all them bodies are at?
Yeah, and all of them all of a sudden are like, "What are you talking about?" No. What?
Like 8 blocks back, there's like 12 bodies just in the alleyway.
Yeah, no, we didn't have anything to do with that. Floon didn't have anything to do with
turns
that.
up, goes, "What? Where?"
All right, okay, look. So I'm ignoring the bartender and the ogre. I just look at Vaughn and I'm like, okay, look. So it was the rock. Remember that rock that had the moss that looked like a cheetah?
Yes.
That one. If you had looked up like 8 feet to the right, there was like 12 dead bodies and 2 people being interrogated.
Wow, what a tragedy.
Yeah. I know. It used to look like a cow, I think. Now it looks like a cheetah.
But like what you're noticing is like once you start talking about illegal stuff, maybe especially because Wiley's here, like it's gonna like shut down all conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's
Wiley, I understand the tension in the room, and I try to like let everybody know that I'm cool.
Okay.
Do you put your hat on backwards? And
Yeah,
then drink?
exactly. I turn my hat around and I pull my whistle off my neck and I put it in my pocket.
He's
It's not
off
going to
duty.
get blown in here.
He's off duty, ladies.
Yeah. And then I'm just like throwing back the first
Yeah,
beer.
it's like
I'm
slap
also
people on the back,
kind of
like,
choking
hey.
on it. This is like, you kind of get the sense that this is like my 3rd beer ever.
I feel like it's beer and lantern fluid mixed together.
Probably.
Gross.
It's just moonshine,
Oh.
basically.
I'm like choking it back, and I'm like, "This is excellent ale. Thank you, bartender."
As I'm drinking, I'm like, this is awful. Thank you.
Yeah, and he knows.
Thank you.
He's like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that ship sailed for us to come in and talk to the criminals and not be associated with the police and the street watch.
I realize that nobody cares about my hat, and I kind of just I walk up to Ed. I'm like, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna go and check on the. I'm gonna go outside."
All right, you got both of them down already? This is a thirsty man. This is a thirsty boy.
I drank the first one, but I kind of like poured the other one
on the already.
That's fine if you want to. The point is,
corner.
I bought them for you. That's the point. I just don't want you to forget that I got you the beers I promised.
Is there are there any dwarves in the room?
Are you asking me?
No, yeah. There'd be at least
can't
one.
See anything?
All right, I'm gonna scuttle over him and speak to Dwarvish and ask him if he knows anything about Floon.
Yeah, and in Dwarvish he replies like Floon was here last night with another man, Rainier.
Rainier. Okay. Tall fella.
Yeah. For a human, and he like laughs.
and I take another big swing on it. And all right, and then I'm just gonna kind of be like, hey, like any know abouts of like kind of where he resides.
Yeah, and while you guys are talking, the dwarf is playing a card game at this table. And when he says he was with Rainier, the man across the table like laughs and goes, that chip off the old block. And then another one goes, just another spoiled rich noble who likes to rub our noses in it. And you can tell, like, just from them bringing up Rainier's name, like, they're already getting angry.
Yeah, and I'm sounds like a real scumbag to me.
Yeah.
I speak in common to them.
Yeah. And you they like bang their mugs on the table.
Yeah. And you're like, I take another swing. And then I'm like, and then I go right back to doors. I'm like, but like, really, do you know where he lives?
Yeah, and he's like, that dude got what he was coming to him because he left here and then 5 guys mugged him and took him off.
Unfortunate for me. I don't care. That sounds awful. So good for him.
Yeah, because at first he was like,
Yeah. All right. I was like, well, any idea who those were? Any direction? Anything? We're looking for him. We want to give him a good beat, and he did something to somebody, and we're bothered by it. So
yeah, and he
You hear me yell from outside. Are you guys playing cards?
Yeah, it's still no reply. Nothing. Yeah, when you ask who would had it. No, you said you wanted to give him a beating.
Well, yeah, I said we need to teach him a lesson because he did something.
Yeah, and he goes,
take care of it.
"Hey, maybe you don't have to worry about it. I bet the Zents already did."
The who? What now?
The Zents. It's the Zentarim. It's one of the gangs. You probably wouldn't know that yet.
Okay,
but
Pippi Lobstockings over here would know
for sure.
Okay. All right. I was like, hey,
they're still speaking.
Somebody
in
say
Dwarvish,
the sense.
and I say, hey, man, I hope you win this card game. Beat all these common folk, these undwarven people, and hey, nice rocks outside, huh?
And he's like, I guess so. Like,
yeah, I'm like, all right, I'll see it.
Yeah.
Hope you aren't gambling in there.
And like on your way out, he like stops you, and he's like, you should check for a warehouse on Candle. One sec. Candle Lane.
Information.
Yeah, you should check in the warehouse in Candle Lane. The Zents have a warehouse there.
Candle, 1 sec, Candle Lane. Got it. Wrote it all down.
Just making sure I can't edit that out, huh?
Yep.
Thanks.
We'll reference it again. I'll reference it again in 5 minutes. So you have to leave it in.
I feel the love.
Slug down the rest of my ale. And I just drop the mug on the floor and walk out.
I feel like Ed's like right behind Vod. Like while he was talking and they were dwarfish, anytime they would laugh, Ed would just chuckle.
Like, Ed, me too. Yeah.
Just nod his head when they're nodding their heads.
So I'll walk out and I turn to Denby. I'm like, listen, officer, you really
Officer?
pooch there. Yeah.
Is that like a third level, like in the Ministry of Magic, like defense team? It's the fourth Harry Potter joke this episode. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
And I'm just like you really almost screwed it up in there. All right, so maybe leave it.
What are you talking about? If I wasn't there, you guys would have been in deep trouble.
Yeah, that's right, Officer Dim. And Ed kind of like puts his hand on your shoulder, like you really saved our bacon in there, man. Thank you.
I like don't understand like lying for somebody else's sake whatsoever. I turn to Ed, I'm like, what are you talking about?
and it's just like
I'm so used to this that it's kind of bouncing off of me.
I'm like, well, anyway,
listen, I heard you talking about the Zins.
Do you speak Dwarvish?
No, I heard the Zins. Zins
we would have heard
Zen, yeah,
that particular word.
Okay,
yeah,
that wouldn't like a proper name wouldn't have a translation, right?
There it is, yeah.
Right.
He also
like hearing
mentioned
McDonald's
about,
when you're pouring it. Yeah.
He also mentioned something about a warehouse on Candle. 1 second, Candle Lane.
Oh, do you? You actually do though, Ed. Do you speak Dwarvish?
No, I speak. I know common and undercommon.
Okay, so you wouldn't know any of that. Then.
No, I was just totally bullshitting the whole time. Like, yeah, anytime somebody looked mad,
yeah. So the guy who understood what they were saying, explain to them what was said.
I just wanted to get that line in there again, so it was harder for me to edit.
You're gonna come. You're gonna
Candle Lane home.
You're gonna get to Candle Lane Road. It's gonna be like the longest street sign ever. It's gonna like take the corner.
But yeah, so I give them the lowdown, and I was like, I don't know. That sounds like a pretty good place to start. No.
Yeah, the Zins, those bodies up the street. I don't know for sure, but it's probably something to do with the Zins, and the Zins are a gang, and they're at war with Xanathar. Is another gang. I wouldn't be surprised if the bodies that we came across earlier, if that was gang. I had only just arrived on the scene, but I'm fairly certain that it's involved because they're at war with each other. And when we hear that name, that's something else that we know about the Zins is that they have a symbol like any good gang would. It's the snake with the wings.
Oh, that is a good sound. Yeah, that's real good.
This halfling loves branding. Yeah. Appreciates a good logo.
Very important. Listen, the deal is, this is Jonathan speaking about Dimby for a moment. His whole thing is being incredibly well read. So like I imagine when we were walking down the street, I was like pointing out buildings that were totally, like just very common normal buildings. Like, oh yeah, here's a bathroom here. Like he knows the city.
Yeah. So
he knows these gangs really well as well.
And so having somebody who didn't pay attention to any of that, I'm like, was there any chance you'd have any clue where this warehouse would be?
For sure.
Yeah, possibly so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Candle Lane's like just another road that you would have visited now and then.
Yeah. So yes.
Oh, then lead the way.
Yes. Okay, I will do that.
So you guys leave.
I do that.
Yeah,
I lead you.
That thing. That's what
I do that thing.
Point out a few more buildings for us as we walk over there, please.
You guys leave the Skewered Dragon and you get down to a road. And
well, I wanted to point out a few houses real quick. Shut up.
So you go down and then you see a building.
It's a nice suburb.
And then you keep walking down, and on the left side there's a
building.
No, not you.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you keep going, and then Candle Lane, more than a road, is like a thin alley.
Oh, hold on.
What?
That's deceitful.
Oh, yeah. And it's like you wouldn't bring wagons down it, right? It's more for people traffic. And the buildings, like some of them are leaning so much in that they're touching over, like completely blocking the light out of Candle Lane. And at the very middle 3/4 way down, you see a single light post with a flame. All the rest are broken.
Well, it's not Candle's Lane, so
good catch. That's an episode of Dungeons and Designers as we play Waterdeep Dragon Heist. This is a Masters of One Network podcast. We'll see you next week.